Hi, this is Susie from Pink Diamond Guide, and I'm here with my twin Ricky, and we wanted to do another update for you with what's going on with twin flames on this current wave of connection. Now, twins do come together in waves, and this is reading specifically for those twins who are in separation and are getting little to no contact and are wanting to know what's going on. Because I know other readers across YouTube are saying, oh, you should be in connection, you should be in union, you should be getting communication. And for those who are on this wave who aren't getting anything, we want to read specific to you, and we want to give you some hope and some insight and reflect on the journey that we've had together to maybe help you get through the tougher moments, because pain comes in on this journey, but we don't want you to be sitting in suffering. That's the tough bit. That's the bit where it gets brutal, when you don't know how to get yourself out of the suffering. So we wanted to keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening for this particular group of twin flames who are in separation and in little to no contact and wanting to know what's going on. We do read initially from the point of view of the divine feminine, because by and large that's who we talk to the most. So we're going to have a look at the divine feminine for you, see what's going on, and then we'll get Ricky to draw some cards from the divine for the divine masculine. And then we'll draw some divine love oracles. And I was just having a moment, I was meditating, going, what is it that these divine feminine, what do they need to know? How are they going to get through this next big wave of energies? And what questions do we need to be answering for them? And one of the things that really struck me in how I knew that this connection was different was we'd been through our rounds of running and chasing, and we had a moment like we'd come back together and we were connecting again, and we've just been talking, saying one of the things about us is the connection is really, really easy, but hanging on to it has always been really, really tough.
It's hard to hold that connection.
Yeah, we get along so well, and the connection when we're together is so easy, and there was all these other things playing out. So it's like connection is easy, holding on to it is really, really tough. But it's when we were together, I remember we'd just come back together, and I'd put my head on his shoulder, and it's just like it just got this place where it just fits. It's like I would just go, my head just belongs here, and it felt like almost like a coming home, and just going, I feel so safe. I feel like there's nothing threatening about being in this space or in this moment. Even though we've got the world and our egos and all our crap that we were fighting outside of our connection and the stuff that kept pulling us apart. When I just put my head on his shoulder, it just kind of fits. And it's like I always felt really, really safe there. And like
we didn't have to try.
No.
It just was safe comfort. It was
easy.
We just knew each other in that moment.
Yeah, and there was never any judgment. We were just being ourselves, doing our thing, and it was always really easy, aside from anything that might have been a challenge to keep it, because we weren't balanced. We had stuff going on independently, but like that time spent together was definitely felt safe and easy. The connection was easy. Holding on to it was hard. Yeah. So we wanted to read around that idea and going, so divine feminine, we know that you feel this connection, and we would almost guarantee you divine masculine is feeling it too. Let's have a look at what needs to heal. Let's look at how do we get you into that place where moving from where the connection is easy but holding it is hard, to holding it is what comes naturally, and that you feel safe and comfortable and you get to live in harmonious union. Let's have a bit of a read around that from the angle of the divine feminine first, and then we'll have a look and any insight that Ricky can offer into the divine masculine. We're going to take that on board and see what we can offer you to get through these big energies. Oh, look, see this? Ace of Cups straight out of the bat. We got the Death card. This is not surprising me at all, divine feminine. We've got the World, some big energies straight up. We've got the Fool. Oh, wow. We've got the Six of Wands, and we've got the Hierophant. Wow, these are some big energies, aren't they? Can't wait to unpack these and see what Spirit's got to tell us. What have we got at the bottom of the deck? Five of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, the Emperor, Three of Cups, Eight of Swords. Oh, look, and there, Ace of Pentacles. I know that that's a long way down. Oh, and the Chariot's under that. And then the devil way down there. Okay, look how far down the deck the devil is on the back there, given that it's shown up so prevalently in readings so far with problems with being obsessed and needing to know all of the ins and outs of everything that's going on the other side of the journey. Here we've got you moving forward. And I like that the Ace of Pentacles is set here because the work is changing for you, Divine Feminine. Look, this ascension path, it's a fresh new view on how you're going to work through your ascension. It is you getting on mission with you to be able to ascend and bring forth harmonious union. This is powerful that it's coming through, even though it's a few levels deep there. Look, this is under this energy, it is going to push you into finding and locating where your sources of pain are. And instead of your mind just putting you on this endless loop of thinking about everything that you're going through, what we want to do is see if we can set you free. Look at this. Collectively, together, working together, we're going to unpack all of these cycles of thinking that have kept you trapped in a mental prison. What I love about the Eight of Swords, like even though this person is bound in this representation of it, it's a loose binding, right? It's a loose binding, and pretty easily you'd be able to shake those shackles. The eyes aren't as covered, like the whole face isn't covered, but maybe your third eye is. And look at this, these swords, even though they sit all around you, it's not a cage, Divine Feminine. At any point, you can choose to walk through this and you would not even give yourself a scratch. You wouldn't. They are not binding you in a cage that you cannot get out of. And Spirit is saying to you, yes, I know we've got some processes to do. Yes, you've got some information that you have to figure out. But what we want to do is set you free from out of this prison. Okay, what have we got down here? The Emperor, which is, where did it? No, I had the Three of Cups in there first. So Three of Cups is about relying. It can be a card of union, it is, but it's not how I'm seeing it at this point. Is it the divine masculine and the feminine and the masculine, the feminine, and the divine itself? Get your thoughts together, Suze. All celebrating union. Yeah, it can definitely represent that, and it can be that's what the push from the universe is. But I'm seeing this more as three feminine energies or combined feminine energies getting together to work the process to understand what it is to be on that journey. And under this current push from the universe, it's going to be a time to celebrate when you are able to come into what this fresh new cycle looks like, where you're focused on your ascension, focused on bringing yourself into harmonious union so that you can bring your union around harmoniously. So we do understand the mental prison, but this is the jailbreak, right?
Yeah.
This is when you get on the other side. You've had a jailbreak, and you're working together to celebrate your freedom from the mental prison. Because look at this, the universe wants you to do a 180. They want you to be free from this prison of thinking, and the 180 of, look, they couldn't be more different, could they? Trapped in a prison, jailbreak, and celebrating. And here the universe says that's the push that they want to put upon you, to have that 180 in the way that you're thinking and feeling and acting in these connections. Okay, what is the next push? It is to do the work. I love the Eight of Pentacles. You know why? Because it's not just about work. There's plenty of work cards out there, but the Eight of Pentacles is about mastery. It is about choosing a path forward. How are you going to get yourself out of this mental prison? The Eight of Pentacles says, get to work. Choose a path and work it. Here, fresh new energy. See this person, they've chosen the pentacle that they're going to work on. Here, the universe is saying, I want you to work on you and your ascension for the purpose of getting you out of this prison, right? We want to turn you 180. We want to celebrate your jailbreak. Let's get you out of here, celebrate the jailbreak, get you on purpose and on mission and understanding this journey that you're on. We're going to celebrate a victory together. You and the divine are going to say, look, this is victory with collateral damage. So over there, maybe this is divine masculine, and you have gone, look, I am turning my back for a minute. I am turning my back, and I am going to, and we went through this. We went through points where we've taken turns at who's been runner and chaser, and I can definitely say that this was my turning point where I turned my back and I said, I'm going to claim my victory, and I'm going to leave any rubbish that sits between us on the ground. And I know that what I'm doing is like, it feels counterintuitive because the connection was easy. It was, and we, like, but the rubbish that we had to work through was not. And there, to have the victory, divine feminine, there is collateral damage, and it is these separations where you are in these ascension processes to get your victory. And the divine is saying to you right now, your victory is in keeping this gap between you two, in having this void between you, and see what these swords are. These are the victories that you're going to have. These are ideals that need to be burnt off. These are ways of living that have to be sorted out. For you to have your victory right now, divine feminine, is for you to take the sword of truth in your hand and figure out what it is to be a divine feminine on a soul mate journey that is a twin flame for the purpose of your ascension. If you can get to that sort of truth, this is what turns this around. In my experience, the only thing that turned this connection around was getting to work on understanding the bare bones of what this ascension path is all about. And look at this, the Emperor. Now look, it is a divine masculine energy. The Emperor, it is the nurturer and the protector, and it is. Do you know what I say this to Ricky? Is the one thing that I always feel in his company is safe, and it's like the overriding divine masculine energy is that you don't feel fear, you don't feel threatened. Have you got some crap to work through? Yep, absolutely. There's some crap there, and look, to have your victory, you're going to have to knock those swords over. But to actually feel safe in the journey, the Emperor is he is the protector, he is the leader. So what we want to be able to do is feel safe in the presence of the divine masculine. And safety means that they're going to look after your feelings, they're going to look after your emotion, they're going to look after your spirituality and your physical safety. So Spirit is trying to bring these alignments into place for you, divine feminine, so that you don't have to live in this mental prison that coming anywhere near your divine masculine at this point is going to cause you pain. And I know it's a thing, and to be able to work through that is massive. But what the divine wants you to have is a new school of thought that is all about you. It's all about Pentacles are work. Pentacles are mission. And look, you've got the 8 come through there. They're saying that is the kicker. Get on mission, get on with the work if you truly want these harmonious unions. And I know it sounds trite, and I know you hear it all over the place, and ideals about self-love, and you've just got to love yourself more. And I'm like, no, crap. I see people who hate themselves, who have zero self-esteem, and they're showing up. They're in relationships, and they manage to have long-term relationships. These connections are different. It's not just a phony self-love. It has to be a true understanding of what love is. And love is an exchange. Love is a heart opening. Love is working with the divine. It's having a wide open heart chakra with the ability to give and receive. There is no human on the planet that can survive alone on self-love. You have to have an understanding of what love is beyond yourself to be able to understand it is what it is for yourself. And I know they're massive concepts, and I'm speaking of them in a very, very quick manner in these readings, but we'll continue to unpack what that looks like. But it's self-love is not just saying that you are the only person who gives love to yourself and that you have to survive on that alone. Understanding, look at this, Ace of Cups comes in. It really does. It's understanding that love comes in and love flows out. Love is an energy. Love is a frequency. You want to understand self-love. You understand the divine. You understand that you are one and the same as the divine. That is the kicker to self-love, not just this idea that you get in the mirror every day and you go, gee, you look pretty today. That is not self-love. That is a reflection of your ego. That is not a heart opening. That is not heart chakras wide open and connecting with the divine. That is a facet of your ego. Understanding self-love is to know that you belong to the divine. You are always one and the same. And in that, there is always an exchange. There's a positive and there's a negative. That is how the divine creates. And this is part of what needs to be unpacked for divine feminine to truly be on her path to understanding. These new understandings are coming in. You're going to have new ideas. The push from the universe against you is to have new understandings of what love looks like. These are moments of peace. These are moments of safety. These are moments of give and take. And you will not feel unsafe or feel threatened when you are sitting in true self-love, which is connection with the divine. It's a big concept. It's a big concept, and I'm feeling really super excited that under these supermoon energies, if you are able to clear the path for, making the journey all about, yes, you're going to still have pain. Yes, you're still going to have processes to work through. But if you're spending your whole time stalking your divine masculine on Facebook, worried about where he's going, what he's doing, and knowing that his particular circumstance is causing you suffering, you're not going to know this energy. You're not. The kicker of the Ace of Cups is to really move into understanding the divine and understanding who you are, as you are one in the same. If this is the quantum sea, right? This latent potential of everything and all that is. What has happened is the divine has chosen this cup and he scooped you up into it to make you form. But he could just as easily tip that energy back into the quantum sea, and you return to the energy from whence you came. You are connected to the all and the everything, and its purest vibration is love. That's how you get to know self-love. It's not this ego version of it. And if we can shake these ideals down, this is where you can start to come into balance. Oh, I jump back because it's such an important idea. And look at this. Look at this. We've got the death card. So we are looking to make this fresh new start. You've got death and you've got new ideals. And I suppose this is why I'm harping on it, because this is line in the sand stuff. There is where you were yesterday, where you are today, and where you are tomorrow. So this is the idea of drawing that line in the sand, divine feminine, and going, I'm going to choose a course of action that feels counterintuitive. It does feel counterintuitive to know, like I said, like I put my head on his shoulder and I just went, this feels like home. But within weeks of that, I'm never going to talk to you again. Like I'm running away, I'm done, this is it. So it does feel like there's this ridiculous seesaw that goes on in your brain that is focused on them and what they're doing. When what the kicker for this is to go line in the sand stuff. I'm going to make this ascension path about me. And death has its own process of ascension. Do you see this? It does have a staircase. It does have levels. So there is work to do to bring death to an ideal, to birth a new ideal. And if you're only worrying about somebody else has got their head on his shoulder and I don't know what the hell to do with that, instead of going, I need to birth new ways of thinking about what this is, what this connection is, and how I participate in it, then you don't get to know this new version of self-love. And I speak about this concept of going, the split particle with quantum entanglement, and it really is a big concept to wrap your head around. Because if twins came out of, like, if this is the cup that the divine scooped you both out of, right? He reached in, scooped you out, and said, this is the soul essence of this soul being. And then he went, well, I'm going to take another cup and I'm going to tip that one cup into two, and you two shall walk forward as two vessels filled from that same latent energy. So your soul blueprint is the same, but it's going to be sitting into to two vessels. Where was I going with that? I've lost my way. I was going to tell you something really important about that. But essentially, what the kicker of where I'm sure it'll come back to me, but the kicker of understanding this ascension process is understanding that you're never separated, because you are pulled from that same latent potential, and to let go of what they're doing. I know what I was going to say. See, I knew it would come back. You are. So if this is the one particle, we're talking about the particle experiment where science has done this. Science has done it. It's fact, and you can study it and learn all about it. They split one particle. So one cup, one particle. They split it and they put it 13 miles apart, I believe. 13 miles apart. And the force that they applied on this particle, 13 miles away, this particle reacted. It did the same thing. They were not connected by anything other than the void in between them. So whatever force is enacting between these two particles is unseen. We don't know what's in the void other than they are connected. They are entangled. There's some entanglement that said even though they're split, you apply force on this one's going to react. So here you are, divine feminine. One of them has the force applied upon it first. So the divine says, divine feminine, I'm going to shake your world. I'm going to make you rattle. I'm going to make you understand who you are, why you're here, and why I need you for this greater process. Now, over here, divine masculine, let's say here he is, divine masculine, over here. I've rattled the divine feminine. We don't know what this entanglement is between them. I've rattled divine feminine. Particles split in two. I'm rattling divine masculine. The force applied upon them is the same, but the force was applied here first. I hope that's making sense, is that you can apply the force to one twin and the other one will feel it. And quantum entanglement is explaining the phenomena. So if you want to go up and look up quantum entanglement and the split particle experiment, there's a lot to take out of that understanding that will help you move through this ascension of death to the idea that your twin is doing anything that's deliberately designed to hurt you. They're trying to ascend the same way you are, and if you feel the push of the divine to ascend and move and grow, you are going to affect the other one, and the death to the previous scenario will occur. What is happening in your soul space, divine feminine? Look at this. I love this. The world. The world is here, and it's one of the most powerful cards in tarot. I love it when this one comes out. What it says is that you have everything that you need in your soul space to achieve your goal. So to achieve the death to the idea that you are in pain and determined and destined to struggle against this for the rest of your days, the world in your soul space comes to tell you you've got everything that you need to change this scenario. So see this ascension staircase behind you? Are you on your path? Do you have everything you need to understand everything about this journey? Yes, you do. Is it confusing? Yes. Imagine this is the quantum sea here. You have everything that you need to affect this latent potential that the divine has put in front of you. You've got it all. Over here in the background, you have some kind of fruit. And I kind of, like I created these, so I say that they're apples in the background. These are the things of the world, right? So temptation and frustration and all of the lower vibe things. Is divine feminine worried about it? No, she's got her eye firmly on the prize, the quantum sea, where potential happens. So she's going to, it feels counterintuitive, not to focus on all of the things that are bringing her into that lower vibration. But in her soul space, if she focuses on the things that she does have control of, her thoughts, her feelings, her emotions, how she chooses to hold her divine connection, like you can choose to let it take you down, or you can choose to put it in a nice little bundle and go, this connection is special to me. I'm going to hold it in a place where it has a special, I'm not going to feel, you will have waves of pain. It's part of the process, but you're not going to sit in suffering over the connection. When waves of pain come up, we're going to feel them till we can't feel them anymore. Cry if you need to cry. Punch a pillow if that's what you've got to do. Energy wants to move. So if you have stuck energy in your field, it's important that you let it release. It's important that the divine push for you to feel what you're feeling occurs so that it releases. And then once that void is creating in your energy field, you can fill it with whatever you want to think about. Do you want to think about harmonious union? Do you want to think about what it feels like not to suffer? Do you want to all of the things, and not to put it like you shouldn't go not to suffer, but what the feeling feels like when you are in harmonious union is that you're not in a fight space. So Call it a high-flying disc. Abraham Hicks is brilliant with that idea. This can be your high-flying disc that holds everything that you want over here. And look who is in charge of it. You, Divine Feminine. You get to decide how you feel about it. Do you want to sit in pain or suffering, or do you want to birth a new idea where you understand what self-love is, what divine love is, and you get to be the master of ceremonies, not being at the mercy to the journey that you found yourself on? And how do you become the master of ceremonies? You get to work. You learn what it is to be on this journey. You learn what manifestation is about. You learn how energy works. You learn how the divine works, and that is what brings you into these energies where you are the master of this journey, not it dictating its energies to you. What is your challenge? Oh, Divine Feminine, your challenge is to let go of the pain. Look at this. The Fool comes in. The Fool comes in. So your challenge, if your soul space is the end of this journey, because you've got death, which says line in the sand, that's yesterday, this is today, I'm on a path of ascension, I'm good to go. In the space of your soul, you've got everything that you need to make this journey and be the master of your destiny. Why don't you want to be? Why are you in the energy of the Fool? Why is it that it's scary to take a leap of faith on your ascension journey and understand what rests in this cup that's waiting for you on the other side of taking the ride? I know the Fool can't see where they're going. I know that this staircase looks scary. You could fall off the side at any moment. But what the divine says to you is trust me. Trust me to take you up this staircase of ascension and through the doorways that you need to travel to get you where you want to go. It is holding a vision in your mind, holding this vision of what you want in your mind, but not obsessing about how you're going to get there. Because how you're going to get there is like, at the moment, you probably feel like, I'm never going to get this journey. They're never going to change. You're focusing on all of the questions that are mysteries on how these things transform. But the divine says, forget what they're doing. Forget how they're operating. Forget anything that is going to take you off this high-flying disc of what you want. Get on the path with me. Keep walking. And I know you're doing it, Divine Feminine, but I know you're sick of it. So that there's this energy inside of you goes, it feels really counterintuitive to stop obsessing about what they're doing. And I want to stop. I've had enough. I've had a gutful. I don't know how to get to the next phase. The divine is saying, follow me. I've got the next phase ready for you. The next phase is understanding what it is to walk with me in love. What is love? The divine wants to show you. Take a leap of faith. Close the door on obsession. Close the door on wondering and making yourself suffer because they're not turning around to come back to you. The only way that it's going to shift is if you take the leap of faith and do the work that's required to bring you into the right alignment. Okay? It's a big message and they're big ideals, and I'm really pushing them at the moment because you've got this supermoon coming up where you can really take advantage of shifting what's hurting you and turning it into your superpower. What is the advice from Spirit? Exactly that. Success, victory, superpower. Look at him with his foot on that rock. I've conquered the next phase of ascension. And you can see it might be a little bit tough, but he's actually at the top of a staircase and has even conquered the last little bit that's like a rock at the top of a staircase. This is victory. And look what's behind this. It's the sun. It is spirit. It is the divine. It is stepping out on a sunny day and feeling brand new. It's feeling the warmth on your skin. It's understanding that you can feel victorious on this journey as much as it feels like you are at the mercy of it. You're not at the mercy of it, Divine Feminine. I want to cheer you on and say, you can take charge of this. You can feel victorious. The divine says, I've got you. Trust me. Take that leap. Learn about who you are. Understand the power of this journey and stop. Do your best to stop. I know I'm kind of doing this right now, and it's like a it feels like a bit of a lecture, but I'm only doing it because I've been there. I've been where you are, feeling powerless to what's going on around me. And the key for me to unlock the journey was to understand the journey. Get knowledge. Get knowledge on the path of where you're going and look at the likely outcome. Can't even make this up for you, Divine Feminine. You've got the Hierophant. See this? Get on the path of knowledge. Get on the path. It's black and white. Do you see the black and white checkered floor? I can't tell you the amount of times it came through to me in meditation of seeing these black and white. That's why these cards are filled with them. It's because the universe would show me how it creates in black and white. Like it's not positive and negative that brings you into this knowledge. It is the neutral space of where they align. So it's accepting that your experiences are not happening to make it a good or bad experience. It's like the universe creates from the positive and the negative, and your kicker is to get to the place of neutral. How do you get to the place of neutral? You do it with knowledge, you do it with wisdom, you do it with gratitude, you do it with a place where there's like a neutral emotion. Now, if you get online and have a look, there's definitely scales of frequencies where different emotions sit, and you'll see all the lower emotions sit on low frequencies, and the higher emotions sit on higher frequencies. The frequency of gratitude is a more neutral energy, where it's like you're not out on a limb. And I wear this tattoo on my arm because it's like, here's the point of creation, and if you swing too far out on a positive, that's not the place where the universe creates from. If you swing too far out on a negative, you won't create from there either. You've got to get yourself back into this neutral space, which is in the middle, and that's where the universe creates the next chapter for you. The Hierophant, as a likely outcome, is that you come into more wisdom and more understanding about the journey. Here's your path, Divine Feminine. Over here, you cannot see the Divine Man. You don't know what he's doing, and you don't need to, but you can clearly see that your path is ahead of his. See, your staircase is more forward than his is, but over here, there's another staircase that someone else is climbing. You're in the same room. There's a staircase out in front of both of you. This is the bit where it feels counterintuitive to just trust that what you're doing is having an impact. It's a big thing to ask, I know, and it just feels like all you want to do is get on that Facebook page and stalk, or you just want to send a message and go, what the hell are they up to? When are they coming back? I know, I get it, I do, I feel it so intently because I've been there and I've done that, and I want to offer you so much encouragement that the key to getting what you want, these harmonious unions, is to do the soul work. Righto, that was a spiel. It feels like a bit of a lecture, and I don't want to be lecturing. I want to help. So, what have you got? Ooh, first card out for the Divine Masculine. You've drawn the Ten of Pentacles. Isn't this interesting? Now, if you've looked back at our past readings, we've been doing one a day because these energies are so intense. But what I've been talking about is the Nine of Pentacles coming out a little bit, and that on this journey, like if it's a 12-mile march, right, the Nine of Pentacles would be like the 11-mile marker. And what was missing for Divine Feminine was this last pentacle, or this union. Now look at what comes about here. The push from the universe on the Divine Masculine is the Ten of Pentacles. It's the return serve. It's like, to mine, if you get on board with this Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine's going to get on board with this. And look at the Ten of Pentacles, this representation of it. I really love it. Because you've got the couple in here. Let's say this is our twin flame couple. And over here, it could be a representation of someone senior in their life, or it could be a representation of wisdom or knowledge or the divine, and it's lush. Look at what's around them. Like, their garments are lush. This is abundance. Here they have loyal companions, so loyalty is in the Ten of Pentacles. And here, look at these solid structures that come in around them. But this is not a tower moment. This is not things all falling over. This is the rebuild. And what's the push from the universe against the Divine Masculine? Is a rebuild. That's interesting, isn't it? Look, here's your 10th Pentacle, Divine Feminine, You put this into the mix. How is like our split particle theory? The divine feminine gets the 10th pentacle. What happens over here to the masculine? The 10 of pentacles. Interesting. What do you got for me? What's the next one? Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This, oh man, can't even make this stuff up, eh? Honestly. Look, this is you, right? Divine feminine. You're going, I'm going to get on with my mission. I'm going to say enough is enough. I'm going to turn my back. I'm going to walk away, which feels counterintuitive. I know because I did it. I did it. I turned my back and went, I'm just going to focus on what I need to do for me. And I'm going to quit worrying about what you've got to do to get yourself sorted. And we went into a long separation phase with no contact. I went, that was yesterday. I'm closing the door, moving forward. And it sparks a journey that you really don't know what's happening. You're just getting on with what you're doing. And look, if you do this, look what happens to the masculine. Can you back this up? As like in that separation phase, a lot happened on your side of the fence, hey?
Yeah, definitely. A lot. Heaps that happened. And wasn't easy. Separation wasn't easy. I had heaps of stuff to work on for myself, but in the end, got there.
You did, yeah. And it had nothing to do with me, hey?
No, definitely not. It was all self-growth.
Yeah. But it turns you then, like, for me to just go to divine feminine to get on with her journey, kickstarts this bit. And the Wheel of Fortune is that 180. It's going, I'm now just, I'm on my path, got to figure out my own thing. And the push for the divine masculine is to really bring this 10 of Pentacles forward. So I would suggest that there might be some evidence on the other side. Not that I want you to go stalking and looking, because that's not going to serve you. You just focus on you. But there would be some kind of shift starting to take place if you're able to create the void between you. And in previous videos, we've talked about the need to create a void, because if you keep pouring all your energy into, like, if you've got these split particles and one is being affected here and one, this entanglement in between, if you feel that divine feminine, there's no reason for the divine masculine to have to lean back and fill the gap. So for you to keep that void and focus on you, even turn your back, it like puts a pull on the divine masculine that forces them into fill that energy void. Here, I would suggest that if you can get on board with this work, there's going to be some level of physical shift in his world that is going to kickstart this journey. That Wheel of Fortune is a 180 from where they've been, where they've headed, where they've how they've been showing up, the things that they're moving through. There's going to be some level of 180. Have you got one for the soul space? Oh, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about, Willis. 10 of Swords comes out for the soul space. I can't even make that up, right? Wheel of Fortune is like some major shift. And in their soul space, the 10 of Swords comes out is like they really start to feel the 10 swords in the back. That's what I said. You pull your energy this way, they go, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Why aren't you feeding my soul space anymore? I feel the 10 swords in the back that you pulled your energy out of our connection. What the hell is going on? And at this point, they don't understand that they can put their feet in the river of the divine and connect at any point. At any point. And seriously, what brought us back together is like we had our feet in the water and we were dreaming about each other. And it was the signal to me that it was okay to connect, which was, it was a big thing. And it's like, there's more to that story for sure. And there's a lot that sort of I can fill in the details. But in this circumstance, it's like when you get focused and go, well, me chasing you and pouring all my energy into the connection while you just ignore all my efforts, that's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. I'm pouring all my efforts into me and understanding our journey and the divine. I will hold you with much affection. I value the connection that we had, but I'm no longer going to feed it while you can't. It's not that they won't, because over here, see, feminine and masculine have different timelines. Generally, the feminine gets shaken up first, and then the masculine follows. And this is part of the journey that triggers it. This knife in the back, when the feminine withdraws their energy from the connection and the masculine feels it in his soul space, she really just, she's not pouring anything into this anymore. And they feel it like knives in the back. But at this point, they don't know that if they put their feet in the water, they can feel your connection at any point. That is them getting up off the ground and contributing to the void between you. So that doesn't surprise me to see this there. We're getting to some kind of precipice. Oh, the challenge for the divine masculine. Oh, see, I love the Knight of Cups in tarot. He's my Mr. Valentine's Day, that I'm in love with love kind of an energy, and wanting to offer heart on the sleeve. It's poetry, it's art, it's music, it's all those beautiful things connected with romance and bubble love. And it's kind of, I'm happy that this Knight of Cups came up, because, and it's come up in the challenge space. And I want to say that because this is kind of how I started the reading. Is one of the most comforting parts of our connection was those moments, how easy the connection was. It was easy to allow feelings to flow when we were together. It was the other crap that was going on around, worldly stuff that was the struggle. It wasn't the ability to feel connection. But over here, look, the Knight of Cups doesn't have his feet in the water either. The divine is flowing away over there, and nobody's connected to it at all, because over here we don't understand what the divine wants us to know about these connections at this point. So here he is in the challenge position going, I've got big feelings. Where did you go? How do I get to express this if you've left me like this? And it's left, the Knight of Cups is left just holding this cup of feelings and not knowing what to do with it. Now, by and large, when you're left holding a bunch of unexpressed feelings and you don't know where to take it or what to do, you might do something destructive. You might start to, and this is kind of why I'm saying is I don't want you to stalk, because however they're going to process this next bit might not be entirely positive. Were you always entirely positive when you were dealing with big feelings?
Not always.
Not always?
No.
At times could be destructive.
Yep.
Self-destructive.
Self-destructive.
Self-destructive. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. More self-destructive, because you don't always know. And this is not just like your twin flame journey that will trigger this. It's life. There's lots of big things playing out. But it's like going, when you're left holding a cup that you don't know what to do with, it can lead to, and look at that, is like in the soul, it just feels like everybody stabbed you in the back. What's the advice from the star? Gee, look, again, the star. See, this is like, look where this water's going. It's like being poured over on the grass here versus what's being poured into the well over here. The divine has their feet in the water, and here there's universal forces being applied. I wonder, is this the trickle of what's being started to feel for the divine masculine? Because the divine feminine is swimming in a pool of energy, connected with each other, connected with the divine, being pushed by the universe for understanding. And I kind of feel like this is the beginning of the divine extending this. Look, it hasn't quite made that pool of water yet, right? See this over here? It's being poured out. It's being poured down. The feminine, they're feeling it. They're connecting with the divine. They feel the universal forces. They know that to align with this is a card of hope. It's a card of inspiration. It's a card of being in the spotlight. It's a card of, moving forward. There's so much connected to the star. And if we go, I see you, divine feminine, you're pouring into this collective pool. But look at divine masculine over here. At the moment, it's going, I don't know which. See how the water runs in a few different directions? It's like they're not connected to the great big pool yet. They're just like trickles. And see, divine feminine goes first, divine masculine following in behind. Eventually, we hope this water will join and they become a collective force for hope and inspiration and being pushed to deliver the message of the mission together. That's a very hopeful card for me. I'm looking at that it's the journey has begun, but it's nowhere near. Look at that puddle versus that puddle. They're very different. That one has had more time and energy poured into it, as in trying to understand the purpose of this universal journey. But it's hopeful to me. What have we got as the likely outcome? Oh, righto. Yeah. Okay. Seven of Cups. Now, as a likely outcome, this card can be very, very confusing. When you see he's in a bit of a shadow energy, looking up to some very, like, we're in the energy of a cloud, so we're like up in the ether, looking up, and here we are feeling very isolated and solitary down on the planet, and going, we've got all of these options playing up here, and we don't truly understand what these things are that are sprouting out of the cups in front of us. Are they positive? Are they negative? If I engage with that, will it move me forward, or am I going to be stuck in this energy? So what I want to say to you as a likely outcome for this current cycle is that he's not going to know what to do, and I think we've already sort of achieved that, is going this turnaround, this push from the universe to come into more aligned energy where unions will spring and prosper, because you've pulled your energy back. It's going to force a turnaround. It's going to cause pain and suffering. It's going to leave some confusion. It's the beginning. Spirit is saying, I've just begun this journey with you. Do you feel good and proper confused? Do you? I'm going to suggest, yeah, you do. So divine, that for divine masculine, that's still a very big journey to play out. That feels like it's just at the foothill of coming into levels of understanding of what's playing out here. But divine feminine, the patterns of these connections is generally that you go first. And I say to the divine feminines that I talk to, is that you're really the one. If you and he are walking through a jungle and out in front of you is just trees and branches and vines and grass, is like you're the one swinging the machete. You are the one swinging the machete and cutting the grass in front of this connection. But you're doing it not just for you, not just doing it for your twin, but you're doing it for the collective, and you're doing it for the greater human existence. The purpose of twin flames being on a soul ascension journey is that we align closer with the divine long term. And probably over the next 10 years, once you've cut this path, not just for you and for your twin, but for everybody, the next thing is to go, how are people going to walk on the path behind you? And you'll start to figure that stuff out. But you won't get there. See this? The Ace of Pentacles and the Chariot. That's the push forward into mission from the divine. How you're going to get there is you're going to deal with anything that's not serving you. You're going to take this death ascension process, or like death has its own version of ascension, and you're going to understand what it is to be a twin flame and to understand a heart opening. You're going to understand what it is to be one with the divine and understand universal love. And when you do, you will never feel the sting of separation again. It is a different experience, and you are on the precipice of understanding it. Did you have some bottom of the deck cards? How many have you chosen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to go 6 deep on that one? Oh, can I take what you've got from the bottom of it? Oh, it's Temperance. Look, Balance wants to push forward. But look at this. We got the Knight of Pentacles again, but guess whose side it's on now? Divine Masculine. He's got the 9. I think we drew that yesterday too. I've got a feeling we've drawn 9 of Pentacles for the masculine. Guess what he needs to come into balance? He needs his 10th Pentacle too. And look what the push is from the universe. You can't even make that stuff up, can you? Look what the push is from the universe. It's the 10 of Pentacles. That's what's being applied upon him. But where is the energy? Where is the room set right now? It's set at the 9, missing the 10. Where are you at, Divine Feminine? You've got the 10. You are on to that next part of the journey. If we've gone 11 of the 12 miles of the journey, here comes the 12th. This is cool. Like, I like this. I like this a lot. The way that plays, you can't even make up how that plays out like that. Sorry, that was over there, wasn't it? I kind of did a sneaky on that one. So what is these were the bottom of the deck. So these are the 6 cards that came off the bottom. That sets the tone of what the universe is setting the room more generally, whereas this is the more direct push. The Empress, there you are, Divine Feminine. So this is really what needs to come into balance for the Divine Masculine is you, it's the balance within yourself first. So does it play out that as you come into balance with your Divine Masculine? Yes, what you'll find is that, did we have the Emperor out today? Oh no, it wasn't. Oh, it was there. Yeah, look. And you've both got that in the push from the universe. So it does want to bring about out that balanced pair, an Emperor and an Empress. And look what happened. The Emperor came out for the Divine Feminine, which is about you taking action on your mission. And for the Divine Masculine, we've got the Empress, which is about bringing that more creative, understanding, nurturing side about. And also, see this, understanding the universal forces at play. The Empress is connected to the divine, the sky, the force, like creation, the planet itself, the divine, like she's got it going on. The Empress has got it going on. So this is coming into the push from the universe is to bring this into balance on both sides of the coin. It's really beautiful that we drew the Emperor for the feminine and the Empress for the masculine. Really like that. And now I've made a mess of what you gave me. Is that was no, that one was on top, wasn't it?
Mm.
Anyway, the sequence will it still makes sense as a story. See this, and we've had the Knight of Wands come out for the Divine Masculine a couple of times. Still that push-pull energy where he'll have a go at moving forward. He's had the Devil and the Angel in either ear. He goes, yes, I'm going to charge forward in the direction of my dreams, but then goes, what am I doing that for? That doesn't make sense. I'm going to stick with what I know. So the Knight of Wands does move forward, but he stops and he doesn't stick. Okay, so also pushing up from underneath the deck, we've got the High Priestess, we've got the Eight of Cups, and we've got the Knight of Swords. Now the High Priestess, she is the gatekeeper between the 3D and the 5D. And how relevant is she for the Divine Masculine right now? As he starts to figure out what this journey is all about, he'll have those steps higher and lower, as she will continue to push him to understand what the other realm is about. So it might be that during sleep phases or meditation phases, any of the above, that information will be raining down upon him, that he'll start to understand that there is another force at play, and the 3D and the 5D will start to interact. So he might start to see synchronicities playing out. And it's like, oh my gosh, I dreamed about that. Now that's happening in my reality. So to me, she's got the black and the white. She's got those polar. She's creating the next part of the chapter. So the divine is really pushing for this gateway to be open for masculine to receive information from the 5D, but have it manifest in the 3D, so it starts to make sense. Here, walking away, I love this, that the push from the universe from underneath the deck is walking away from the 8 broken cups. It really wants the Divine Masculine to know that there's another journey. And look at all this. Come on, get your feet in the water. Get your feet in the water, Divine Masculine, and follow the path beyond these 8 broken cups and into the solidity of the brand new day. Here's the water. Get your feet in there. Let's go. The push he doesn't understand because it's under, we've got that sun moon energy, that symbol up there in the sky. So he doesn't necessarily understand why he's walking to a new horizon. But guess what? He's got his back turned. Whatever these 8 broken cups were they relationships, work, family, whatever it was that was keeping him trapped from following this path, the push from the universe is that he walks away. And look, the Knight of Swords takes action on it. So the push against him right now is really strong, which is why he's feeling this 10 of Pentacle energies show up in a very direct way as a force against him. Beautiful read for the Divine Masculine. Let's choose very quickly some divine, because this is a long reading already. I could talk the leg off a donkey, couldn't I? We'll grab, do you want to draw for the feminine or the masculine?
I'll draw for the feminine.
All right, you go for it. Draw one for the Divine Feminine. And we've loved chatting to mostly we chat to Divine Feminine, and we've really loved having these interactions and being able to give some insight. What have you got? Oh, what is this pain for the Divine Feminine? Do you know what? This is the conversations that we're having. Going, what is this pain that I'm having to suffer? What it is going. The Divine is calling you to understand love on another level, and like I said, we were saying before, is that Ricky and I could articulate easily that we had an easy connection. We couldn't figure out why the heck we can't hold it.
Yeah.
What is all this pain that comes with something that should be so easy? And I think that Divine Feminine is really asking these questions. And see how it's like a high heel? Like it is a feminine representation. And look at all the pins. Like I know it might be a little bit tough to see, but they're pins in the shoe. Can you imagine if that was your foot? Like it's like high heels with pins through it. It's going, I should look really glamorous in this pair of high heels, but what the freak is this pain? So we see you, Divine Feminine, in going, this connection should be easy. It should be comfortable. You should be able to put your head on his shoulder and go, this is my spot. This is where my head belongs. But you know what? All of this other cycle comes with that. And this card comes out. We say we see you, and what we're offering forward is help, assistance, connection to go. How do you bust through understanding the pain to take it out of? We don't want you to suffer, even though you feel pain. Suffering is optional in this process. How do you get out of this horrible high heel with the pins in your foot? You get to work. You understand the next chapter, and that's what we want to help you do. I'm going to draw one for the Divine Masculine.
Yeah.
And then if you want to draw one for the connection.
A show if you want.
Ooh, there you go. For the Divine Masculine, body and soul. I'm not even kidding about that. Where do we have it? Here, look. See this? Body and soul. In the soul, look what's going on. I'm feeling this at every level. What is my body doing? I am struggling to know what to do with all of these big feelings. So when I see this come about, I'm actually feeling like, and I'm not seeing towers or any particularly negative energies come out in the cards, but I do feel like that the hurt that's being experienced on like a soul level, the masculine might be brutalizing himself with some level of self-sabotage or some level of punishment on a physical level. Now, I don't recommend the feminine go hunting for this evidence, but maybe take it from Ricky that it wasn't easy on his side. His soul and his body were having different experiences and some level of self-sabotage. Would you suggest?
There was a lot of level of self-sabotage.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I made it hard. It's hard, definitely. It's hard work.
Yeah, and like your body and soul sometimes didn't feel like they were aligning.
No, it's hard to explain. One's going one way, the other one's going the other way, and you want to put them both together.
Yeah, and it's like the devil talks in this year, the angel talks in this year, and you go, what the hell am I supposed to do with what that feels like? Like you've got some really pretty energies happening and some really challenging energies happening, and you go, well, I feel like I've got two very different opposing forces at play. And we have the High Priestess there too. Again, that's another representation of that ideal of going, what comes through in the 5D and what is happening in the 3D can be very, very different. And to know how to moderate that when you're in suffering is a difficult thing. So to me, we see you, Divine Masculine. We know that this is pain is not the soul reserve of the Divine Feminine, and that this process is big to play out for you, and it's unpacking right now as Divine Feminine gets really firmly on her mission. You're probably feeling the pull on your soul and playing it out in a 3D way that's very quite challenging. Okay. One more last message for the connection together. Through new eyes. Really? That's amazing. That's a fantastic last card to draw out, because quite literally what we're asking you to do, Divine Feminine, is take a new view of your connection, to understand it deeper, to look at love through new eyes, to put your connection in a different frame, to put it in a look at the quantum mechanics, the quantum entanglements that you're in, to understand that this connection goes way beyond what they're doing and how they're hurting you. That the understanding of this, when you can look at this connection through new eyes and you understand that the divine, look at this, these forces that are at play beyond here. Here's your physical eye. And again, we've got this idea of a separation of body and soul. And here we're asking you to look at your connection through new eyes, have a firmer understanding of what love looks like when you are in alignment with the divine. And then you'll understand that you are never separate from your twin. Neither are you ever separate from the divine or anything else in existence. So this is asking you to view your connection through brand new eyes, through the understanding of knowledge, through bringing science and spirit and love and you and your twin all together, putting the puzzle together for new understanding and seeing it brand new. That is a monster message. I know I've talked and talked and talked on this one, so we're going to wrap it up there. From Ricky and I, we want to send you guys so much love, and it's been great talking with you all. If you want to connect with us, probably the easiest way, if you want to direct message us, is find us on Facebook. We've got Pink Diamond Guide over on Facebook. You can direct message us there, or messages here on YouTube. And I guess
Got questions? Don't be afraid to ask, and we'll try and answer them and help you out.
we'll do our best.
Do our best
with what we know. So if you do like the way that we share information, we'd really appreciate a like, share and subscribe, because we want to reach as many of twins in separation who are suffering as we can, to offer hope and support as we work this journey together. And then if you've listened this far, thank you so much. And if you're subscribing and comment, we love it so much connecting with you. So we're going to wrap this up now. From us, it's take care of you in faith, hope and love, and bye for now.